Hello everyone, so welcome to my Japanese progress update video number 8. Welcome back if you've been following these videos for 8 months now. It's the 8th month, which is very exciting. It just goes so quickly. I say that every time, but here we go. I hope you like the new angle. I tried to have the camera looking from like up, I guess, towards me, so I don't know, I hope that's a nicer angle. And yeah, I guess let's just get started. But just so you know, I think this video is going to be a bit shorter than usual. I mean, I say that, but they all end up being 10 minutes long, so I don't know, maybe it'll be very long. But there aren't like lots of new things I wanted to talk about, but there's still going to be things that I hope you will find interesting, because I think they are interesting. And so, as you can imagine, I'm still doing the RTK reviews, so I haven't stopped. There hasn't been anything new in terms of that. I mean, the only thing that was sort of frustrating a bit is that I'm still around 150, 160 reviews a day. And that's kind of annoying because it still takes me about 25 minutes, half an hour every day to do the reviews. And I could be doing other things on top of that. So I'm kind of considering just reduce my reviews. And what I mean is that on ANKI, you can sort of have a maximum limit of reviews you want to do. And I think I'm going to start doing that. Maybe having 100 reviews a day or something like that to make it more manageable, because the issue with that is that I haven't really focused on doing other things but kanji, because you know, half an hour every day is 3.5 hours every week, and that's a lot of time. I'm not saying kanji is a waste of time, of course it's not, but it's just that at my level, meaning I'm probably still N5, I am definitely N5 in Spanish, in Japanese yet, so I think it's important that I focus on other things. So I don't know, it's something I will have to think about. But last week I did mention that I tried to start another deck, which was based on Japanese for Busy People, which is this book here. It's this one for reference. And I haven't done much of the deck because, I don't know, I think, again, the kanji reviews kind of took a lot of time, and it was just, I don't know, I think I just got lazy. I think there's so much ANKI you can do every day until it gets a bit boring and repetitive. But I did try to do a few, but I'm not doing reviews every day because, first of all, I've got like 10 reviews a day, which goes very quickly. And I just kind of wait to do them when I reach like a 60 a day. So I'm not really focused on that, but I know I will do it eventually because, oh, I didn't say that yet. You probably don't know, but I'm going to Japan in April. And again, that motivates me to do even more Japanese and practice because I want to have a better level whenever I go to Japan. So the first time I was like, meh. Second time I could say a few more things, and this third time I want to be able to not communicate, you know, not be conversational, but be able to just communicate more things in general, because it just makes my experience in Japan just better and more enjoyable if you're actually able to communicate at least a little bit, which I was on my second trip, you know, for basic interactions like at a restaurant or at a shop. But I still want to improve, obviously, because my long-term goal is to be fluent in Japanese. So here we go, that just gives me motivation. I think planning to go on the country where the language you're learning is spoken is very motivating. So if you can afford it, if you've got the time, then I would recommend to do that. Even though it's a bit scary, I still think it's worth it. And it's super exciting to be able to use your language skills in, you know, real life situations for real, not just in front of your textbook. For next month, I've decided that I would do a new language routine because I did one before, but I want to do it differently this time. And for this routine, I've decided to do something a bit different. So what's happened so far in terms of my kanji review is that I would do them whenever I sort of had the time and felt like doing it. So I could do something like 5-10 minutes in the morning, then on the bus for 5-10 minutes, then on my way back I would do a few more, and etc. So it was kind of broken down. But what I'd like to do for from now on is to have, I don't want a strict routine for my language learning, but I want to at least have 3 hours every week which are allocated specifically. So what I mean is that, for example, I could have half an hour on Thursday, 45 minutes on Saturday, and 45 minutes on Sunday. And then it doesn't mean that that's the only time I do language learning, but I want to have at least something fixed. So I definitely do language learning, and then the other times I can just sort of do it if I feel like it and see if that works. Obviously, if I only do 3 hours a week, it's not going to be enough, but it's something that I'm kind of willing to try. And I think routines are something you have to try and adapt until they sort of work work for you. So that's what I want to do for next month, and I will probably talk about this in more detail next month. But another thing that I wanted to talk about is a book I've been reading, or rather listening to, because I prefer audiobooks. It's The Willpower Instinct by Kelly McGonigal. I had to look at my notes. And I didn't finish it, but I've gone through 3.5 chapters, and it's been extremely useful. It's not directly meant for language learners, but you can easily apply it to language learning. So the things that I've learned with this book is that why you sometimes don't feel productive, why you can't find the willpower to achieve your objective. So in my case, my objective was to do language learning. So it's not that I didn't do any language learning, but I struggled to find the motivation when I had decided beforehand to do it. Sometimes you're like, oh, I'm definitely going to do it today, but then you realize that your motivation just sort of fades. And this book has explained quite well, I think, why it's difficult. I'm not going to talk too much about this book today because I don't want the video to be too long. I mean, it's already 8 minutes on my camera, but it's definitely something I think I will make a separate video for once I finish the book and I sort of can give my impressions on the book, because I think this book can actually be very useful for language learners like you and me. So I think I'd like to talk about this. I know my channel is kind of taking a personal development twist turn, but I hope you'll find it interesting. I mean, let me know what you think about this sort of new, not like change, but this sort of turning point on my channel. Let me know if you find it useful or not. It feels to me, it seems like I get good feedback, positive feedback from the videos, but it's always good to know what people think. So don't hesitate to let me know. And the last thing I wanted to talk about today for the progress is that I'm gonna try for my language routine to use Rosetta Stone, potentially Mango Languages. If you've been following my channel for a little while, I did a review of Mango Languages because I completed 2 of their units, which took me quite a lot of time. I feel like it was about, was it 90 hours? No, I can't remember. It was a long time I spent on the app, and it actually taught me a lot. It's really good for reading and for like speaking and listening. So I think I need to pick it up again, because all of the vocab I learned, I probably forgot. I don't know, I just kind of gave up on the app because I wanted to do other things, and I feel like I spent too much time on the app, so I kind of got bored of it. But I think if I can do it maybe even 5 minutes a day, even from the start, there's a lot of vocab I can learn, and there's quite a few words that I also remember from Mango Languages which were useful when I went to Japan. So yeah, like when the word, for example, note, which means like to get off something, when I was asking for directions, I was like, oh, I remember this word from Mango Languages. So it's definitely words, in the app you have words that will definitely be useful for me in real life situations. So that's why I was thinking of doing that again. And as for Rosetta Stone, usually Rosetta Stone gets quite a bad publicity, I feel. Like a lot of people criticize it, and I want to be able to sort of review it and see if it helps or not. But my feeling is that Rosetta Stone is useful not for complete beginners, but for people that have some knowledge of Japanese or other languages. And in that case, it would be useful for me because you can have the kanji as well, which is really important for me because I want to be able to read them. So I just feel like it's actually something that will be very useful to help me to progress in Japanese. So I'm kind of eager to try it. And again, I don't think I'm going to do it too much. I'm going to try to go with 5 to 10 minutes a day or every 2 days, something like that would be good. And on top of that, I also want to use my textbook, so Japanese for Busy People, which I used yesterday for about an hour and a half. I was so motivated, it was exciting. But it's definitely something I need to think about because I'm talking about a lot of things I want to do, but I need to see how I can do that in a way that's manageable. I obviously can't plan to do 3 hours of Japanese every day because that's just unrealistic. And that's just not how much time I'm willing to put in for Japanese. But if it's something like an hour and a half, that seems manageable. Let's say half an hour for kanji, half an hour for the textbook, or 40 minutes, and then 5 to 10 minutes for Mango Languages and Rosetta Stone doesn't seem to be such an unrealistic objective. So I think that's what I'm gonna go with. And I believe that's all for this video. So again, if you have any questions, if you just want to know anything, if you have any suggestions of things I could use, then do let me know in the comment section as usual. And I will see you next week for my next video. Bye!